1, 2, 3.
Hey, so the intent of this video, for anybody that's obsessed with Eleanor like I am, is to help you guys to create a real Eleanor. In building this car, I wanted it as movie authentic as possible. You know, a lot of people do Eleanor recreations. It's most probably widely recreated car, most iconic movie car of all time. There's a lot of recreations of these cars. But if you want a real deal, true, authentic Eleanor, here's the things to consider to make it as movie car authentic as possible, like I'm trying to do. So, first things first, let's start with the number one thing that I think most people get wrong, or maybe number two. I'll get to number one in a second, but it's kind of half and half, man. Number one or number two is the wheels. Okay, so let's just start off there. These are probably the closest wheels you're going to find that I think look like the movie car wheels. So, the movie car wheels were actually made by PSE Engineering. It's either Paul Schmidt or Phil Schmidt. I can't remember the name, but long story short, PSE Engineering wheels, they're an AC Cobra GT40 style wheel. These are very close to it. However, some of the lines are a little off. You can't find those wheels. They are unobtainium. They don't exist. They weren't reproduced. Maybe in the early 2000s, maybe from 2000 to 2000, I don't even know, maybe 5. But if you ever find a set, please let me know. You can't find them. So with the wheels, what a lot of people don't realize, this is probably the number one thing they get wrong. Not only do they get the wrong wheels, they go with a lot of the Koi C67s or the L-Rock 454 wheels, or another Eleanor recreation wheel. I got another wheel over there. I'll show you what I mean. They go with the chrome style as argent. It's completely wrong. The Koi C67, the Eleanor 454, not the right wheel. It's close, but it's not the right wheel. The main reason is the color. Even VN 427s, they come in like a gunmetal color to try to match the gray of the car. Completely wrong. These wheels are not body color, and they're not gunmetal color. They're actually a goldish hue, like a champagne-ish goldish hue. So in certain lightings, it actually blends in and looks like body color. But because the movie was shot in like almost a sepia tone, people don't realize that the wheels were actually a gold color. So they don't match the body color. They're a goldish hue. I'm not going to say what color code this is because it took me forever to find the right color that is movie car authentic. But if you look at the Hero car, they are gold wheel. It is not silver at all. Obviously, if you're moving on, people will put the 67 GT500 style badges. It is not a 67 GT500 style badge. It is the 67 rear trunk lid and grill badge that goes on the side. It is not the standard fender badge. So it's got to have the long style trunk and grill badge. So, a lot of guys get this wrong. The stripes on the car. All 67 GT500s, the stripes carried all the way through. This was not a traditional 67 GT500. And most people, when they reproduce Eleanor, and even the Eleanor reproduction companies, they get it wrong. The stripes did not carry all the way through. They ended at the flares. So, almost like the wide body, if you will, the flares of the car. They cut on the front and back where the wheel flares were. So even I didn't know this until I started looking at the Hero car very, specifically, in the movie. They actually cut. It's kind of hard to see in the movie because you don't really look for it, and it's hard to find a scene with it. But they cut at the flares. So exhaust. So this is the proper tip for the exhaust. A lot of people don't realize this, but the movie car itself did not have side exhaust. It had rear exhaust. It was a rear exhaust car. And so they shot the movie with these tips in there. So these are the proper tips for the movie. But if you look at the Hero car, it's got 2 pipes coming out the side. And the reason why it has 2 pipes coming out the side without this bezel is after the movie was shot, in order to make it legal and sell it, they had to have 2 pipes. So they retrofitted a Borley exhaust after the fact. So if you see the Hero car with 2 pipes, that's why. But technically speaking, this bezel and the tip is Eleanor from the movie. It was shot with these tips, so that is correct. While we're on exhaust, a lot of people get this wrong, man. They'll put the rockers. There's 2 style rockers. There's a lower rocker and a higher rocker. You want the higher style rockers. The reason why you want the higher style rockers, that's what Eleanor came with. You cut the exhaust that goes through the actual rocker. So through the box is where it needs to be cut. The reason why is it keeps the body line where it needs to be. When the people add the lower rockers, it really fattens up the car. It lowers this part of the car. It makes it fatter like a modern car, and you lose that slim line, that body line that you need for these cars. It didn't have that modern fat style look. So higher rockers with these tips, that's what you want. A lot of guys, when they mold in the scoops, man, they'll kind of lose this hard line around the side scoop. You want that hard line carrying through. Obviously, these need to be blacked out. They will be blacked out because their molded scoops are non-functional. Everybody knows that. So this needs to be blacked out. But again, it's a molded scoop, but you want to keep that line going. So moving to the back of the car, something very important. Some guys will have a chrome bumper, with the stripes carrying through it. It's not a chrome bumper. It is body color bumper. It's actually a fiberglass bumper. So it needs the fiberglass body color bumper to tie everything through. And another thing that ties it all the way through is the blacked out tail panel with the bezels. So a lot of guys, man, they'll put 67 GT500 style bezels on here. And 67 GT500 bezels were chrome. Eleanor was not. It was blacked out throughout the whole panel. Kind of gives that aggressive look. So it needs the blacked out bezels. The chrome looks absolutely disgusting. If you have a gas cap here, you're completely wrong for an Eleanor. It did not retain the original gas cap location. It moved to the quarter panel. I'll show you that over there. A lot of guys get this right, but it needs the flat panel with the fender badge in the middle. That is 100% how Eleanor was. No gas cap, flat panel, fender badge, blacked out bezels. That's what you want. So moving forward. Speaking of your fuel cap, again, relocated to the quarter panel. It's about an inch, I think an inch and a quarter space behind the scoop. They'll put the GT40 or AC Cobra style gas caps on here, the pop open style. That is incorrect. You want this cap. It is a 71 to 73 Mach 1 Mustang cap. That is what came on Eleanor in the movie car. It's slightly recessed into the panel. Gives that flatter look. When you have that bulging GT40 AC Cobra style look, it just looks terrible. You want it more streamlined. All right, so let's go to under the hood real quick. So this is honestly not even necessary because, man, it's a choose your own adventure with these cars when it comes to your engines. But if we're talking 100% movie car authentic, even the manufacturer, the guy who currently owns the hero car, the movie car, doesn't really show underneath the hood because they don't want you to know exactly what it has. I'll tell you. It was a 351 small block. Yes, it is a GT500 with a small block. I know GT500 means big block, but these cars came with small block from the movie. That was what's on the hood. I can go into a huge tangent about how it's still authentic GT500 because Carroll Shelby blessed off on them, even with his recreation series, and the people that do the reproductions of these cars or the licensing. Long story short, even Carroll Shelby said GT500. I can go into a tangent, but I won't. So 351 small block, obviously this 427 stroker based motor. However, the movie car just had a stock looking 351. One thing that you do want to make it movie car authentic under the hood is the TCP Total Control Products brace. I actually have one over there. It's going to get installed in this car soon. But it's a tubular kind of a chrome brace that comes to another tubular point in the Monte Carlo bar that ties it all in. Again, the movie car had a very basic, like, I think it's a black round air cleaner with chrome valve covers. There's nothing special with the hood of these cars. I feel like this looks pretty correct with the black and silver, and it ties it in. Again, with the engine options, I'm not really a stickler. I think most people aren't, because a lot of people don't realize what the movie cars had and what they didn't have. So that's what you want for underneath the hood. Speaking of hoods, if we're looking at the hood, a
Some guys will go with the Super Snake style Eleanor hood, and it's about an inch higher than this, and it completely messes up the look of the car. It's too high of a hood, looks bad. If we're being 100% movie car authentic, you can't find the actual hood that the 3 hero car movie cars came with. The reason being is they took a 67 GT500 hood and they added this front block off panel, kind of, they molded it in. Well, that made it, these reproduction hoods that every Eleanor, all the reproductions, Eleanor World Roadshow cars, all the real deal Eleanors have this hood. This is the right hood. However, the movie cars, it was slightly more rounded because it was this GT500 67. So these kind of angles it didn't have. It was a lot more rounded of a hood. But because no one can kind of recreate that look, this is kind of what you want. Hood pins, some guys put push button hood pins. It needs the actual hood pin with the rope. And that's just an iconic, aggressive style that you want, is the roped hood pins. Moving on to the interior real quick. So again, this is a choose your own adventure with Eleanors. A lot of guys will just kind of go crazy, put whatever they want on them. But if you want movie car authentic, this is what you want. So if we're looking at this car, even the floor mats are technically incorrect. I'm debating on pulling them out because it just had flat carpet throughout. Some guys will put consoles in here. Even the reproduction companies will put consoles in here with the switches and the nitrous arm switch up here. It's not right. So this is what you want, just a regular carpet, no console. Obviously the Go Baby Go shift knob. If we're talking movie car authentic, it had these little, just like the original 4 speeds had the lockout for the reverse. Since this is a 5-speed, it still has that look. However, it doesn't actual function. Go Baby Go shift knob, it actually absolutely has to have that. If you don't have that, I mean, just forget about it. So behind that, evenly spaced, is your nitrous arm switch. And evenly spaced behind that is your fire extinguisher. This is how Eleanor was set up. This is how you want it. So some key things with the interior. Standard 67 GT500, 67 Mustang radio. That's all it had in there. Nothing fancy. This is a retro sound radio, so when you put it on, it looks just like a regular 67 GT500 or 67 Mustang. However, you know, it's Bluetooth, but it looks authentic. With the gauges, same way. These are new vintage USA gauges. They're all electric. However, they retain the black look. Some guys will put white face gauges on here. The movie car had blacked out gauges. Speedometer to 140, and then tachometer. It may have actually had a clock. The monster tack that you see in the movie, that is what you want to make a movie car authentic, was the big monster tack here. I haven't put one in this car just mainly because, I'll be honest with you, I hate it. And it's one thing, it's very early 2000s, and I will probably put one in here, but it would cover up my working tachometer here. So debating on putting it in. If I want it 100%, then I need to put it in, so I probably will. The door panels, obviously these are deluxe door panels. These are technically not right because these are speakers. These are the Mustang Sphere one with the speaker pods. I didn't feel like changing them. Number one, these are like $1,400 door panels, and music's nice to listen to. So I was like, you know what, just leave these. Speaking of deluxe interior, the seats is a huge part of this car. Now, these are not right. I'll be the first to tell you. I have the medallions for them, for the deluxe medallions. It's a silver little bar that goes here. But the seats themselves were deluxe seats. That means they had the trim that goes over the top, and the trim that goes on the side, and there's a hard back with like a chrome that goes all the way around. And it was comfort weave interior. Now, so comfort weave is that little, the rear seat has it with the medallions, but the fronts are wrong. The comfort weave interior with the deluxe style seat. So this is the standard style, so technically not right, but deluxe seats are like $3,000. Just the panels and the stainless trim alone for these seats, just the panels and stainless trim are like $1,200 to $2,000. So I don't have $3,500 sitting around to change out these seats, so these will be fine for now. Everything in this car is ungodly expensive. So seats. A lot of guys will mess up the lap belts. They'll put standard Mustang style belts. That is not correct. This is a 65, 66 GT350 style lap belt with the leather swatch and the chrome locks. That is what you want in this car. So standard interior in the back. One thing they all had was the 67 GT500s and Eleanor's had the roll bar in the back, so this one does not have that yet, but you want the roll bar to make it authentic GT500. Just flat, what you want is a standard 67 GT500 interior with the Go Baby Go knob, your nitrous arm switch, and your fire extinguisher with the different style Shelby lap belts. That's what kind of makes it different, unique. And then the monster tag. This button is actually technically incorrect too, because on the hero car, on the movie car, it was a manufacturer of the steering wheel, I forget what manufacturer, but it was a blacked out little emblem. I recreated the 67 GT500, and then when certain lights hit it underneath the snake, you'll see Eleanor. Only when the light hits it perfectly. I feel like this looked a little better. I took a little liberty with that, but I think it kind of bodes well for the car. Another key point, TCP pedal covers, Total Control Products pedal covers. This was on the movie cars. The hero car, they actually removed the gas pedal, but in the movie, he actually had these. So the TCP products, these are very hard to find. Pedal covers, those are authentic. Motolita steering wheel. That is something that did have the wood grain. You cannot find them, but it actually came in a lighter color. So if I ever find a lighter color Motolita steering wheel, I'll put it in here. It is more of the walnut, not the mahogany. So a walnut wheel, but you can't find them. They don't produce them anymore. They're all mahogany now. Good luck. Last thing, last few things that are egregious mistakes when you build these cars that need to be fixed, and it has to have it. The number one thing when it has to have it is the color. Man, it really bothers me that people don't know this, but there's 2 codes for pepper gray metallic. Obviously these cars are pepper gray metallic. There's 2 codes. There's a DuPont and there's a PPG. The PPG color, I'm pretty sure, is the one that's incorrect. It's a darker color, a dark metallic, bluish, gunmetalish color. And when you spray the car, man, it loses the stripes contrast. Not only that, it's just a completely incorrect color. It's a lot darker, it's a bluish metallic. It's completely the wrong color. I believe it's the DuPont is the correct one. I think I used to know the color code was like 14603 or something like that. DuPont pepper gray metallic. It's a lot lighter, silvery. That is the color. If you put one next to a PPT color, they're completely wrong. Last thing, I'll leave it at this. The last thing that, if you want a real deal movie car authentic, that almost every single person gets wrong about these cars, is this. They'll put the bullet style mirrors with the 2 mounting points. It is not a bullet style mirror, it's a single mounting point. Now it took me forever to figure out what mirror this was with a single mounting point, the rounded, this argent finish, the silvery argent finish. It's not chrome and it's not body color, it's this silvery color. This is an AC Cobra mirror. That's what these were, that's what they use. Obviously, when Steve Stanford designed this car, he had a lot of incorporations from Shelby's. Side exhausts, reminiscent of an AC Cobra. The wheels were reminiscent of an AC Cobra GT40. The mirrors are AC Cobra mirrors. So that is something that almost everybody gets wrong. These are AC Cobra mirrors. So again, a lot of Carroll Shelby design influences. When Steve Stanford designed this car, Chip Foose did not design this car, by the way. He helped build them. He did not design it. It was Steve Stanford that designed the car. Foose built it. I can go on a lot of tangents about this. Here's some things to consider when you want a real deal, authentic movie car. And for those that are wondering, yes, this is a Eleanor World Registry car. There's the tag. There's one underneath the hood with the VIN. So it's a real deal Eleanor. There's a couple slight tweaks we need to make it to 100% hero car movie authentic. However, this is pretty darn close, and if you want it 100%, then I think that's every consideration I have at this point. I'll come back with any changes or details. So, hope this helps.